And for Kevin, we have Torkoal, Aerodactyl, Xurkitree, Lilligant, Pheromosa, and Tapu Lele.
All right, so a little bit of a switch. I know that Corey likes Aerodactyl quite a bit, but it's interesting to see that only Kevin has the Aerodactyl this time. He's also very well known for having an Aerodactyl preference, so I was looking forward to having a possibility of an Aerodactyl mirror, but not going to happen today, it looks like.
Yeah, another thing that Kevin also brings is he is known for bringing that Lillicoal option quite a bit. I think every tournament that I've seen him at this year, he's brought that Lillicoal.
Yeah, and you would know more about that since you are kind of around the same area he's from. But looks like Corey might have figured something out with the more standard-looking core. Porygon 2, Araquanid, pretty favorable. Jokingly called the play or throwing if you're not bringing it. Nihilego is a pretty interesting option here on this team, I think. You don't normally see it on teams that look like this, unless I'm mistaken. But both teams look like they have solid options to deal with what the other has to offer, and we do have 4 different Ultra Beasts, 2 different Tapus, and different playstyles in general here.
Absolutely. So one important thing that I think that Kevin is going to have to think about is that Tapu Koko really threatens his Aerodactyl, especially with that speed tie happening, or potential speed tie.
Alright, we're going to get into Game 1, and we'll see how these two match up for Game 1. We'll see if they need to make the changes, or who will get the upper hand. It's very important Game 1. Looks pretty even so far. Alright, so Corey's going to lead off with Porygon 2 and Nihilego, with nicknames here too, so we would comment on that.
As we see Kevin lead off with that Pheromosa and Aerodactyl.
Yeah, quite a different lead. It looks like Corey's going for that long-run Trick Room setup. Here we go, because both these Pokemon do learn Trick Room. It's up to Kevin to see which one is actually going to be doing that.
So right now, I think Kevin's in a pretty good spot, because that Porygon 2 is kind of threatened by the potential for a Fighting Z or even just a normal high jump kick.
Yeah, definitely. Pheromosa really threatening here, applying pressure on both these Pokemon if it's physical. Aerodactyl not too much behind either with a Rock Slide and Taunt potential, but looks like we're going to see a Sludge Bomb from Nihilego, indicating a Scarf, of course, and that's a one-hit knockout.
Ooh, that's a rough knockout for Kevin, because unfortunately Pheromosa was really doing the majority of the damage, or looked like it had the potential to do the majority of the damage on the field.
Yeah, here's a Rock Slide, getting a good crit on Dr. Evil there. Not enough to knock it out, but here's Ice Beam. Solid damage there. Aerodactyl's Sash is now broken if it was carrying it. And Kevin's going to have to worry about this plus special attack Nihilego now that's got a Beast Boost under its belt.
Yeah, so that was a very good first turn from Corey. So now he's got a boosted Nihilego and a potential for going for the Trick Room if he ever has to.
Alright, so Xurkitree is going to replace that Pheromosa Beast for Beast, and now we're kind of in a sticky situation for Kevin's side. Aerodactyl's definitely within range of getting knocked out from that Sludge Bomb that we saw earlier, +1, despite Rock resisting. But Sludge Bomb can also do a major number on that Xurkitree if Corey chooses to go for the Xurkitree instead.
Absolutely. So that Xurkitree right now, it's looking like it's either going to have to focus down that Nihilego and maybe just make sure that it can't continue to just keep that steamroll of Beast Boost going.
We'll see what happens here. Porygon 2 very healthy, of course, could definitely set up a Trick Room right now. Corey's running a little low on time, but he got it in there, so.
Alright, as that Xurkitree actually just goes for Protect.
Doesn't want to take that Sludge Bomb damage, but looks like Corey made the right call, knocking out Aerodactyl with that Sludge Bomb and getting another Beast Boost. It's getting pretty dangerous out here. Nihilego is about to sweep through. Dr. Evil indeed.
As he does go for a Trick Room though, so now that that Xurkitree will be outspeeding that Nihilego in the Trick Room.
Yeah, I'm not really... I know what he was going for there. He was kind of hoping that Nihilego would get knocked out there, but now it's just in here way too fast for its own good, as Tapu Lele comes in for Kevin.
So right now, if you're Corey, yeah, unfortunately your Mon is probably going to be too fast right now to really be able to do too much, but I mean, you are at a pretty good advantage.
Yeah, if you are Corey, you probably leave Nihilego in, just as a way to get a safe switch the next turn. It really doesn't have anything to lose at this point. You're +2, as if you land a hit, you're gonna get a knockout probably. Maybe not on the circuitry, but if Kevin does not target your Nihilego, it's just free damage. So you're fine to just leave it in here.
Absolutely. As we see that Porygon 2 actually just go for the frustration, doing a good amount of damage to that circuitry.
Tail Glow from Xurkitree gonna start setting up those boosts before the Beast boost. And here comes the Psychic from Tapu Lele, gonna knock out that Nihilego.
Alright, so Kevin making sure that another Sludge Bomb didn't come out there. But unfortunately that does give him the free switch in to one of his Trick Room Mons.
I do suspect that it would be Araquanid, but Corey maybe didn't bring it, but Shalab, is that Araquanid? It is indeed.
Alright, so right now if you're Kevin, you're not looking too good right now. There's a very slow Mon on the field, followed by another very slow Mon. So I think he might be in some trouble, and he might have to call some protects here.
Definitely. Araquanid, also commonly known for carrying a Z move here, has that opportunity if it's carrying that to go for the KO on either of these Pokemon, barring a protect. But given Kevin's past history, I would assume Lele is indeed Choice Scarfed, so no protect option there. We do see the safe protect from Araquanid, just gonna stop their protects from going off here. Good move by Corey.
Alright, as we see that frustration go out into the Tapu Lele, doing a good amount of damage.
Really sizable, possibly thanks to an attack boost that we may have missed. I definitely don't think it's supposed to do that much damage, but...
And unfortunately the Psychic did go into the protecting Araquanid, so no damage done by Kevin.
It's looking pretty much over here as Corey does reveal that he has the Z Water, probably off liquidation here. Gonna knock out a Pokemon of his choice. I would suspect it's going into that Xurkitree, since a return did about 40%.
And it goes into that Xurkitree, and unfortunately I do not think Xurkitree is going to be living this, as
Not
it does get picked up the KO.
With the crit, some icing on the cake for Corey, and a return, or a frustration, will gladly just take out Tapu Lele. Very decisive victory by Corey. The surprise Choice Scarf from Nihilego on turn 1, very helpful towards kind of ensuring Pheromosa didn't get out of hand, and it'll be up to Kevin to adjust this Choice Scarf Nihilego Porygon 2 Trick Room setup.
Absolutely. So that was a very rough game. Unfortunately, I think it was really after that turn 1, I really think Kevin was playing from the back the whole time. I don't think he had the opportunity to really catch back up.
Yeah, we didn't even get to see what the Pheromosa did, so maybe that's something Kevin can use to get back at Corey. Hasn't revealed any Z moves on Kevin's side either, so we'll have to see if Corey can keep his momentum going into Game 2. But yeah, that Choice Scarf Nihilego definitely applies a lot of pressure here. It definitely even might outspeed Lilligant. So
yeah, I'm not actually sure on those speed calcs, but I'm sure these players at least know their speed calcs a little better for their own teams.
Definitely. And we did not see Corey's fourth, but I would say that it's probably Tapu Koko chilling in the back. I would not expect any changes from Corey, at least in this game, and it's going to be up to Kevin to do most of the work here as Corey kind of dumps off that burden of having a game plan.
Yeah, absolutely. I think if I was Kevin, I think I would need to switch it up, maybe bring my own Trick Room Mons, but the only issue is that Araquanid would not be taking too much from my Torkoal, my main Trick Room Mon.
Right. Definitely something for concern there. And even Araquanid doesn't take that much from Torkoal either because Water Bubble's reducing effect. And Araquanid in Sun still does a big number on Torkoal.
Absolutely. Water Bubble is 3 abilities in 1, and it's an amazing ability for an amazing Pokemon.
Exactly. It looks like Corey is done here. Corey is good to go. Kevin's still trying to work out the plan here. We got a little bit more time here so he can hang on, make sure his plan is what he wants to go with. But I'm excited to see what he does because I know he's a very good player, and I know that if Aerodactyl comes out with that one flinch, it can change everything.
Flinches are always going to be a thing to consider. It's 30% chance to flinch, so that's always something you have to consider when you're playing against an Aerodactyl.
Of course, everyone knows my love for Aerodactyl, so I don't think I have to push that point anymore.
Absolutely.
We're gonna see the same lead from Corey here. The Dr. Evil, who did so much work last game, as well as his Porygon 2, putting up the Trick Room.
And for Kevin, we see the Tapu Lele and Pheromosa.
Alright, so a change from Pheromosa Aerodactyl to a little more conservative Tapu Lele Pheromosa. Pheromosa definitely still threatened by that Sludge Bomb or Power Gem, but at least Tapu Lele has some sort of plan here to stop that Nihilego, since Pheromosa probably does have Protect.
Yeah. So that Tapu Lele I don't remember if he revealed if it was Scarfed last game, but if it is a modest Nihilego, I think if it's a timid Tapu Lele, I believe he could outspeed.
It's a far cry, but
yeah,
it could definitely happen. We don't know.
Yeah. I think if you're Corey, that's something you do have to consider because he did lead it against a known Scarfed Nihilego.
That's true. And it's all about mind games here. Even if it isn't Scarfed, Kevin's plan may have worked if Corey decides to do something else with his Nihilego. Did he get in time?
Ooh. That might have been a timeout. I'm not sure on that one.
Oh, here comes the Sludge Bomb. No fear, going right into the Tapu Lele. Gonna be enough to pick up the one-hit knockout. Wow.
That is a rough. That is another rough first turn. Losing one of your main damage dealers is always rough.
Here comes that high jump kick, smacking right into Porygon 2. Gonna get that one-hit knockout. A trade for both players. Losing Trick Room may hurt Corey, but at the same time, it's looking pretty good since he got to keep his Nihilego, and we do see Life Orb recoil from Pheromosa. That's going to be important info if Corey is outplayed here by Kevin.
Yeah, so right now, he may have lost the Trick Room, but he still has the fastest mon on the field, so I think maybe if we have Aerodactyl in the back with the Tailwind, that might be a nice option for Kevin here.
Definitely. It's going to be probably that, or trying to set up with Xurkitree once more, as +1 Nihilego probably doesn't get the knockout on Xurkitree. But I definitely don't expect to see Lilligant or Torkoal if either is the case. And here comes Aerodactyl.
Alright, so I think if I was Kevin, I think I would have to... I think I would probably go ahead and protect my Pheromosa here, just because it's you really need it to be able to pull your way back into this game.
And Corey brings in a Rockwanid. Interesting choice. I would have liked to seen a Tapu Koko switch in there to force the speed tie, but maybe Corey's got a different plan up his sleeve with this Rockwanid. Since he knows that Aerodactyl does have to set up Tailwind for Pheromosa to actually do anything. Wide Guard is also an option to stop Rock Slides if Corey does carry a Wide Guard on a Rockwanid.
And one thing you have to consider if you're Kevin is that even if you protect, Araquanid's Waterium Z would still do a good amount of damage because of Pheromosa's paper-thin defenses.
That's also true, so Corey's got a lot of options with his Araquanid right now.
As we do see that Pheromosa just go for the protect.
Nihilego is going to go for that Sludge Bomb into the protect. A fine move, of course, and Tailwind does come out, as expected. So Pheromosa now becomes the fastest thing on the field once more. Here comes Liquidation.
Knocking that Aerodactyl down to its sash.
Alright, so we've got another game here, folks. Since both of Kevin's Pokemon survived that turn, they could just start going to town. Barring any misses from high jump kick, Pheromosa should be able to clean up this Nihilego for sure with that attack boost. But has to watch out for Araquanid's Z-Water or even just plain Liquidation at this point. Since no more Protect means it's very vulnerable to attacks.
Yeah, that's one thing you have to consider when you're running an Aerodactyl is that, yeah, it's able to set up the Tailwind for you, but Rock Slide is not always the most consistent move, but it always has a chance to miss. And against Araquanid, which is also a pretty bulky mon, it can just go for that Wide Guard.
Alright, so we do see Wide Guard as Pheromosa does go for the high jump kick and connect. Very important, so that's going to knock Nihilego right out. Pheromosa is going to pick up another attack boost. It's getting pretty dangerous. I don't even know if Araquanid can handle it anymore, despite resisting most of what Pheromosas do carry. And we see the Sky Drop pick up that Araquanid.
That Sky Drop is super nice for him because now if he needs to, he can protect and know that that Liquidation will not be hitting his Pheromosa.
At the same time, it also makes his Aerodactyl vulnerable after the drop. So Aerodactyl is probably going down this turn. And I would say that Kevin's got a choice to make. He can either protect Pheromosa to prevent itself from getting knocked out from the Araquanid getting dropped, or he can go for the offensive and knock out Tapu Koko should the Tapu Koko not have protect.
Yeah, it's a rough call, but I think I think it's probably his better play, probably to just protect here for that Pheromosa.
I also think that way. Since Pheromosa does outspeed Aerodactyl, Araquanid is very safe. It's not getting knocked out by the Sky Drop for sure. It has one chance to get off another move, and that could spell big trouble for Kevin.
Yeah, and if I was Kevin, I think probably I would have that Xurkitree in the back, so as long as I'm able to make sure that that Tapu Koko goes down.
All right, we see Tapu Koko go for the protect here. We have a poison jab coming out. Looks like Kevin decided to go offensive. We'll see if this play plays out for Corey when he gets dropped.
That is a pretty good amount of damage from a Sky Drop, actually.
And the Waterium Z goes off, presumably into Pheromosa. There's not much reason to hit into a Sky dropping Aerodactyl at 1 HP. But definitely going to take care of this Pheromosa business. Really nice for Corey, but he still has another turn of Tailwind to worry about here.
Absolutely. So unfortunately that Pheromosa for Kevin is going to go down, but he gets his switch into his last Mon, so hopefully for him it's something that's able to pick up the rest of this game here.
Yeah, if it's Xurkitree, could definitely provide a big offensive pressure on Corey, sorry. And it is going to be Xurkitree, so Xurkitree looking fantastic right now, has a lot of pressure. No Z move, weakened Araquanid in Electric Terrain. It's not having fun versus this Electric type. X gonna give it to you.
Oh man, it's such a good song. So one thing I think that Aerodactyl, if he just Sky drops that Araquanid again, I think I'm pretty sure he'll be able to pick up the KO because it did a good amount of damage last time. So I think then he'll just have to worry about that Tapu Koko.
That's also true, but I think Tapu Koko does apply some damage to the Xurkitree. There's no Z move option since the Araquanid did break it. He's going to protect here, get out of Tailwind, maybe stop a Sky Drop here. And we see Rock Slide from Aerodactyl, making the call that he would protect, not Wide Guard here.
Yeah, that was a good call. Hopefully for Kevin that'll help him get back into the game, as we do see the Thunderbolt just going to the protect there.
And a Dazzling Gleam comes out from Corey. No flinches here, doing a sizable amount to that Xurkitree. Enough for a 2-hit KO. Taking Life Orb damage here. Oh, but wait! There's a Citrus Berry.
Citrus Berry, the forgotten berry.
Yeah, that's going to guarantee that it could probably take another Dazzling Gleam, but with 2 Pokemon here, it's not looking great. I don't think a Thunderbolt can attack 2 Pokemon at once, do you?
Unfortunately not. Maybe if he has the Discharge and gets the crit on the Koko, he could be able to pull this back, but I think right now the Dazzling Gleam single target will be just too much for that Xurkitree to handle.
Here comes that single target Dazzling Gleam. Is that enough to knock it out? Not quite. No. It's going to get out this one Thunderbolt into Tapu Koko. Gonna knock it out, but Araquanid free to attack. What is it going to do?
Alright, unless this Araquanid is able to miss that, it's just going to be a good game.
Yeah, I liked Kevin's plan going into that, but it looks like Corey wasn't really phased, or maybe knew that he was going to knock out that Tapu Lele turn 1, whereas Kevin might have suspected he could survive that hit.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a really well played game from both sides. It came down to the wire there near the end. But Corey looks like flipped coins a bit better.
Yeah, making the correct call on that Sky Drop turn was very important. So I think that really helped Corey seal that second game there.
Yeah, and it is round 1, so both players are going to go into round 2 with their new records, and it's still very possible for Kevin to cut. A player I know cuts a lot of events, just doesn't get enough recognition, I think. Corey cuts events too, of course.
Absolutely.
And both from different states, but both very strong local players here.
Absolutely.
Right.
Hopefully we'll see them again later in the day.
Yeah, until then, stay tuned for round 2. We have some players still playing, so stay tuned.